something that I had pondered over as a kid. I used to always, as a young kid, it used to disturb me deeply that people would be going to hell if they weren't Christians.
Every time we forget our earth, our way, and the laws, the rules, then we have to get a new messenger.
It took a lot of courage for me to give up the skepticism and to have that leap of faith.
In the coming half hour, you'll be introduced to people from different religious backgrounds, cultures, and races who will explain what attracted them to the Baha'i Faith. You'll learn about the Baha'i belief in one God, one faith, and one human race, and the goal of unity. You'll learn about the prophet founder of the Baha'i Faith, Baha'u'llah, the glory of God, who announced his mission in 1863 and revealed laws and teachings for the moral and spiritual evolution of the human race. And finally, you'll see Baha'i communities, their worship services, family gatherings, children's classes, study circles, and service to humanity. You'll see how the Baha'i community works as a grassroots spiritual democracy without priests or politics, and how the individual believers take responsibility for their own transformation. "23-year-old Karita Griffith is a New York University graduate and a native of Portland, Oregon.
My spiritual upbringing, the influence of it is mostly my father. My father was very much a seeker, still is very much a seeker of enlightenment and of religion.
Karita's first encounter with the Baha'i Faith was when she joined a Portland, Oregon dance troupe organized by Baha'i youth.
It was the Portland Baha'i Youth Workshop. And they sat down and they kind of told me that we proclaim the oneness of humanity through the arts. And mostly what the Portland Workshop did was dance. And I said, well, do I have to be a Baha'i to do this? And they said, no, not in our workshop. And so I started going every weekend. I started going to workshop practice and learning dances and performing at high schools during like Martin Luther King celebrations and different occasions where people celebrated unity. They called upon the Baha'i Youth Workshop of Portland to go and perform at different events. And so through that, I started to learn a little bit about what the Baha'i Faith was. I had been, by this point, I'd been to Europe on a dance job. I was in Amsterdam and I was in Munich for about a total of 3 months between the two. And that was kind of a wild experience for me. That was the first time I was on my own. And I didn't always make the best choices when I was there. It was the first time I was out. I didn't have my parents. I just was kind of out and about and really just watching myself just go in so many different directions. And the only thing that I had with me was a Baha'i prayer book that I felt like could help me. And so I started doing Baha'i prayers when I was there, just for some guidance and some help, because I didn't know another way to get it, so I started asking Baha'u'llah for help. My favorite still is that as ye have faith, so shall your powers and your blessings be. This is the balance. This is the balance. This is the balance.
Here are some basic facts about the Baha'i Faith.
The Baha'i Faith is a worldwide community of more than 6 million believers who live in almost every country. The Baha'i Faith has no clergy. Instead, the affairs of the faith are governed by a spiritual grassroots democracy that functions without politicking, nominations, or campaigning. No single member of a Baha'i institution has more power than any other member. All decisions are made through prayerful consultation and are based on Baha'i holy scriptures. The Baha'i system of administration is designed to eliminate the corruption of politics and the creation of interest groups and divisive factions. Baha'i communities are informal, and they foster friendship among members of different races, cultures, classes, ages, and sexes. Their gatherings are joyful, feature song and music, and open discussion. Baha'i community life is made up of spiritual feasts held every 19 days, regular prayer and devotional meetings, study circles, children's education classes, and family activities. The highest goal of an individual Baha'i and of Baha'i communities is to be of service to humanity. Therefore, Baha'is engage in a broad variety of service activities in their communities. Also, there are informal fireside meetings held in Baha'i homes and meeting places, where people who want to learn more about the faith can share their views and beliefs. Despite the fact that humanity is now going through a chaotic and destructive phase, Baha'is are optimistic about the ultimate destiny of the human race, believing that we will overcome the great obstacles facing us and achieve a world at peace, living in unity without prejudice or suffering from hunger, oppression, and the devastation of war, a future of spiritual unity and justice.